Is faith still relevant to Gen Z youth? Today we're featuring a special roundtable discussion with an interfaith group of high school students about how their faith influences their lives. Let's welcome Simran Katyal, a junior at Lane Tech High School. Simran is Hindu but attended Catholic grade school for 9 years. We also welcome Patrick Timlin, a senior at Whitney Young High School. He regularly attends University Bible Fellowship in Rogers Park and is a member of the youth group there. And we welcome Ellie Wharton, a junior at Whitney Young. Her mother is Catholic and her father is Muslim. Growing up, Ellie attended Sacred Heart Catholic School as well as Catholic Church. And finally, we welcome Mia Pearsall, who is a junior at Walter Payton High School and went to Sacred Heart School. She attended Fourth Presbyterian Church until her freshman year.
Can you tell us a little bit about your religion growing up?
So I'm a Hindu at home, but I went to a Catholic school for 9 years. And so I learned to appreciate other religions as I grew up, but I still practiced being a Hindu at home with my family.
I grew up at a very Christian household. My mom made sure that we prayed every time before we ate. On our way to school, we'd recite the Lord's Prayer. Wasn't my favorite thing to do, but we did it. And we went to church every Saturday for the children's service, and then church every Sunday for the adult service. In the summers, we'd go to Bible camp with the church for about 4 days. And I don't know, it just seemed like it was something that was naturally part of life.
So I grew up Catholic, and I went to church every Sunday, and I went to Catholic school from preschool to 8th grade, and I went to school with me and Simran. And that was a big part of my life, because with Sacred Heart, we went to Mass. We went to chapel once a week and Mass like once every 2 weeks. And then I went to Mass every Sunday on top of that. And then transitioning to Whitney was a whole different life after that, because it wasn't as focused, and I got a lot of different perspectives from a lot of different people.
I grew up Presbyterian, and then I also attended a Catholic school with Simran and Ellie for 9 years. And that was really interesting because although it's still a Christian religion, you get confirmed at different times. So it was really interesting when all of my classmates were getting confirmed or getting First Communion. That was always at a different time for me with my religion. And then I go to Walter Payton now, so it isn't a denominational high school, which is also really interesting to kind of see all these different religions.
Simran and Mia, compare your educations from Catholic school to public school.
Well, I like going to Lane Tech. I realize how much I really practice, like how much I actually do at home as a Hindu with my family. I kind of had a similar experience like Patrick. You had to drive 45 minutes to learn about your religion. I also, when I was younger, going to a Catholic school, I would have to drive like an hour to go to a different temple for specific holidays. And I feel like with CPS, religious holidays, with the Catholic school, it was okay. Like I would be able to miss school for a certain like Diwali or a certain holiday. But with CPS, I feel like, you have Christmas off, you have a bunch of different holidays off. But if I had a Diwali celebration, I would have like an excused absence, but I would also have to make up all the work from that day, and people wouldn't really know what are you missing for? She's just gone, she's absent, it wouldn't. So it's a lot more independent, like you're a Hindu at home, you're doing your own stuff. It's less like at Sacred Heart, everyone knows what religion and everything that you're going through.
I still, after every class, I say thank you to my teacher, and I remember the first day of school freshman year, I said it to one of my teachers, and they were like flabbergasted that I said that to them. They were like, "Oh my God, you were so polite," and I was like, "It's normal. I don't know what you're talking about," but it's completely different at a public school.
Because I did a summer math program before my freshman year, and my teacher for the math program was like, "You are the politest person I've ever met," and I was like, "All I'm doing is saying please and thank you," because that's kind of what Sacred Heart.
I would see people not say thank you, and I'm just like, how could you just walk away ignoring the teacher, like who just taught you for an hour or something? Like, how can you just walk away?
You guys are making me feel terrible. I feel like I'm a terrible student growing up.
The teachers used to stand at the doors.
We had to shake their hands in a line.
That might just be like our school.
Might just be Sacred Heart.
I know I have another friend that went to Sacred Heart at Whitney Young, and one of her teachers told her parents they were like, I've never had a student consistently say thank you to me after every class, but Beth does, and it like it makes me feel so good. So I don't know, I feel like having those little things that we had to do, just like suddenly it became so habitual for all of us, and like we don't think twice about it, but then when you realize no, like not everyone else does it, you're kind of stand back and appreciate what you were taught earlier in life.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way, like not at school. So as a Hindu, there's a lot of respect towards parents and like any kind of adult. So I went on a trip during spring break, and I was with a family, and so I was just like there's just like some forms of respect, like not sitting in the back seat and leaving her alone. Like I was just so used to that. My parents just taught me, don't leave them alone driving in the front and then you guys just in the back. So I was just so used to it. I was like, how is there no one sitting next to your mom? So like there's just those things that you're used to at home and then you see differently not at home.
So obviously religion is a big part of both of your lives. Do you think that religion is obviously part of a person's identity? Do you think it's sometimes not talked about as much as maybe other parts of someone's identity? And by that I mean like someone's sexuality or race or ethnicity.
I feel like talking about your identity, like sexuality or your race, those are things that are like more vital and something that you like notice right away about a person. But with religion, you don't really start to notice about a person until you start to talk to them. Or even in high school, most of us are kind of self-conscious of our image. So talking about what religion you practice or how often you practice it is sort of like something that you're self-conscious about. So it doesn't come out right away unless you really do practice it strongly.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like not many people talk about their religion unless there's like a specific reason why someone brings it up, like what religion are you or what do you practice? Like I don't find myself talking about my religion specifically, like Hinduism, because at my school I don't find a lot of Hindus. So people ask me because they kind of like guess, and so that's like a reason, oh, Simran, you're a different religion, so how about we talk about that? But not many people just talk about religion in general.
Is there any situation at school when a religion is obvious, and especially with Islam? And I know my father's Islam, he's from Palestine, and like it's a huge issue here, it's also a huge issue overseas, and how people become prejudiced because of the way you look based on your religion. Is there any instances you've seen that happen?
I feel like at Whitney we're pretty like accepting of those people. This girl Jeanette in my math class last year, she wore a hijab every day to school. It was just part of her identity. Everyone accepted her. Nobody tried to make fun of her or any bad remarks about her for wearing her hijab.
Is there anyone at Lane?
Yeah, I think that Lane is very diverse, where we see a bunch of different people, and a lot of people they see it and they kind of guess, but there are some people that do wear hijabs and they're a part of a Islamic appreciation clubs and like stuff like that. So yeah, it's seen at Lane and people accept it usually.
Well, rather than like, I feel like we see it and accept it, but we never like ask questions about it or anything. I was on a school trip and my friend Nikhil is Hindu too. And at every meal, I didn't know that he was Hindu or anything like that or anything about his religion. Every meal, our teacher would be like, hey, can you find something to eat here? And I'd be like, oh, Nikhil, you don't want to get wings? We're at a like barbecue wing place. And he'd be like, no, dude, I'm Hindu. So then I didn't know that they don't eat meat until I asked him further about it. He's like, yeah, it's just part of my life. It's something I just don't eat meat. It's not hard.
Yeah, a common misconception about Hinduism, not all Hindus are vegetarians.
See, now I'm learning more.
Yeah, so I'm not. Hinduism is kind of very free, like it's less organized, so like it depends on a family, what you choose to fully believe in, and what it's very loose. So yeah, that was just one thing. A lot of people, they see me and they're like, do you eat meat? Like, I don't know, like some people choose not to eat meat and not follow Hinduism, but it's not really like going against the religion, because you can choose to like respect, because there's some kind of respect towards animals, so you can choose to respect it in different ways. Yeah, but not all Hindus are vegetarian.
Do you still practice your religion as much as you did when you were younger? And if not, why? If so, why?
I definitely don't. I got confirmed my 8th grade year, and so that year I went to church every Sunday, and then I was confirmed at the end of the year. And I went a little bit my freshman year of high school, but now I don't go as much. And I don't think it really has anything to do with me like not wanting to practice religion. It's kind of a time thing, but I also think that I found ways to practice my religion in other ways, such as doing service. So I like to tutor kids and work with children mainly, but I think for me, like that service-oriented thing is kind of more how I practice my religion.
Yeah, as you get older, you get busier, and there are some ways you can practice and pray when you're not necessarily at church every Sunday. And there's ways you can thank God for what you have gotten in life and where you are and the people you know. And it's not as much dedicating a whole day of your time, and some people are able to do that, and you can still be just as religious, not going every Sunday, but being able to dedicate 10 minutes like before bed to praying.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that as you get older, you get busier. I have a mandir, a temple at my house, and I even find myself not going there as much as I did when I was younger, just because, you don't think about it. But I agree that you don't have to spend 2 hours going through the whole process at a different temple, not outside your house, to fully practice everything, just having the thought of believing and praying is enough.
Well, I feel like as we get older, our parents leave it more up to us to make the decision on if we want to go to church or if we want to go to temple. And I typically go to church on Sundays, or if we have like a youth thing on Friday night, I'll go to it. But I feel like that's more because of the community that I have at church. There's 5 other guys in my grade who attend the same church, and like we'll play basketball at Warren Park against other people, or we'll go play football, or we'll do something together at one of our houses. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I still like go to church or something, or practice along with the whole faith that I've been raised with my entire life and do believe in. But that's a very strong reinforcer of why I do still continue my faith.
Yeah, community is a really big part of wanting to do anything.
Yeah.
Most people, most people that I know, I know there are people who don't do this, but most people thrive when they're with people or do what they want to do when other people are surrounding them, supporting them. And that's a big part, because I know I don't really know anyone at my church, but what I loved about Sacred Heart was we were a big family, and we all loved being together, so we didn't mind anything we did when we were together, and it always made us happy to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think for me, when I was being confirmed, it was this big group of people, and we were all going through it together, and I had a lot of friends, and then people kind of started to fall off and not go as much. And I think that was maybe a big part of why I didn't continue to go as much, was that not feeling like there was as big as a community anymore.
Yeah, the first time I was after Sacred Heart, I usually was like the only Hindu, or like there were a few other Muslims, but the first time I started an After School Matters program, cricket, and I met a lot of Muslim friends, and so that kind of, my parents even noticed that I was actually asking more questions about my own religion, and that was like the first time where I asked my parents, why do we do this? Like, why am I not eating meat on a certain day, or why am I going to the temple for a certain thing? So like, I do agree that where you surround yourself really affects how you how you decide to do, how you decide to pray, or when you decide to go to your temple or church.
So, did you think that Sacred Heart was accommodating of your religion? Because I know, like, we did things such as like the Saint Project, where you're supposed to pick like that type of thing, I guess, throughout your experience.
I never felt pressured into believing a certain thing or doing something a certain way, but I don't think I fully understood my own religion, or why I believed a certain, like a different thing than what was going on, why I didn't get confirmed or baptized, or why I was different from everyone. So I don't think I never felt pressured into getting confirmed or receiving communion. But like during the same project, I remember our religion teacher just told me, choose someone that inspires you.
Do you guys think your religion and your education based on religion growing up are going to influence what you do with your life later on?
Yeah, I think one of the things that religion really implemented into me is the importance of family, and not only like having one, but maintaining a good one. So I've always envisioned myself having a wife and about 2.3 kids and a dog, and raising them, taking them, I guess, to Sunday school and such, just because that's how I was raised. And there are things that in that process I do better, but that's the basis of what I see, at least for my future, and try to make sure I have an occupation around that allows me to maintain a healthy family, at least.
Yeah, I agree. I think I find myself getting married, settling, and having a husband, kids. But I think that it's different. Like now, just as time goes on, people think that an arranged marriage is what's going to happen because that's what has always happened. But growing up, like here in America, and even seeing how India is, like with my family, it isn't really still just like arranged marriage and having your life going to be a certain way. And I really appreciate that my parents, sometimes I joke around talking about, in India, people would be getting married at my age, and they're joking, you're going to go to college, find a career, choose what you want to do, and then marriage will be there for me to decide when I want to. But I do think that, growing up, I always just assumed I'm definitely going to get married and have kids and everything. So yeah.
I think on a different note, when I think about religion, I think about helping people and giving back to people. And so, at least for my career, when I grow up, I know that I want to do something that's making a difference in the world and helping people. And I'm not really sure in what way I want to do that yet, but that's definitely I want to do something that matters and means something.
Yeah, I agree. And in Hinduism, you kind of help kids too, and helping and giving to your community. So I would find myself doing that too. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Simran, Patrick, Ellie, and Mia for this fascinating discussion. I'm Polly Toner for Different Drummers and the Greater Chicago Broadcast Ministries. Keep the faith.